Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sunday Morning Shred. I'm your host, Mark Murray. This is the show where you wake up on Sunday, you roll out of bed. Some of you guys are probably hungover. Go grab your coffee, your soda, your morning tea, get your cereal bowl. I don't know what you guys like, but then you come to YouTube after that, and the show is here waiting for you. I'm here to talk guitars with you guys. This week, I'm going to be showing some of your guys' guitar creations. So if you want your guitar featured here on this show, make like a 1 to 3 minute video showing the guitar. Tell us about the mods. Tell us what inspired the guitar. You could jam out on it if you want to, just no copyrighted music. And send it on in to me, mark@guitarguts.com. You can email your videos to me, and I'll play them here on the show. So if you got a cool modded custom guitar you want to share with us, I'd love to see it and comment on it. I'm also going to be taking your questions. So each week here, I usually do a Q&A of questions that I find in my comments or that are emailed to me that are guitar-related questions. So if you have anything you want to know, any guitar-related questions, leave them down in the comments on any of my videos. If you're watching Trash to Thrash or one of the vlogs, anything, I gather them all up and then I put them here on the show. So we're going to do some viewer guitars today, and we got a couple awesome questions for you guys after the viewer guitars. So let's jump on into it over here.
So this is my Jackson DK MG. I think it's a 2003 model. Not sure.
Something I like to do a lot of times is stop the videos halfway through so I can comment on them and all that. First things first, you know, I love that gold hardware. I recognize that bridge. That's a 1996 T Goto floating bridge. Love those things. Love the black guitar, the white pickups. Very sick so far.
Alder body, rosewood fretboard, reverse headstock. It's completely modified too. These are gold Goto tuners with the magnetized Allen wrench for your locking nut, foam for the ringing. It's got really nice frets on it. It's made in Japan. It's got DiMarzio Evolutions, the Steve Vai signature. I prefer Duncan's, but I tried these ones out and I never took them out yet, so might keep them for a while. I deleted the tone knob and put a push-pull coil split volume.
I don't know if he's going to point it out, but that's a Q Parts knob. Again, one of my favorite knobs right there. Really, really nice.
Three-way selector and a Goto 1996 GET bridge. I think that's what it is, G something. It's got the brass block. It's got a trem stop, so it's dive only. And these springs are very responsive. I got it in drop C right now, and it's just awesome. Super stable, sounds super good. I love the aesthetics of this, the black and gold. Really happy with this build. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, that was awesome, man. I love the guitar. You guys know I love a Goto bridge. I love the Japanese Jacksons. I love pairing Japanese guitars with Japanese parts too. So the Goto stuff with the Jackson made in Japan. I'm not a huge DiMarzio guy, but those white pickups look sick. And like he said, if they sound good, that's the main thing that matters. So very cool. Got that Q Parts knob. I dig it. I dig it. And you know, if you're going to send me a video, I should tell you guys this. Put your name as the video title, because I get videos in and then I download them, and then sometimes they sit in my download folder, or they'll download it into my Sunday Morning Shred folder, and I go back to it and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know who sent this thing in anymore. So it's best to name the file after your username or your name, whatever you want shouted out on the show here. So very sick guitar, my man. Let's see what we got next.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Thanks for sharing my build on your platform. My buddy Ohms in Hawaii really wanted me to put this out there and share it with you all, so here goes.
Oh, hi, Mark. That's from The Room. If anyone doesn't know that movie, it's one of the worst movies ever that this rich guy financed on his own. He's the worst actor you've ever seen, but he had the money to put a movie together and star in it. So that's what that thing at the beginning was. Let's go ahead and back it up. By the way, this is from Adam here. And Ohm is the guy. He's a Hawaiian guitar player. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll see he has like really epic shots, and cool dude.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Thanks for sharing my build on your platform. My buddy Ohms in Hawaii really wanted me to put this out there and share it with you all, so here goes. Ever since I saw this guitar, I thought this guitar is so metal, but at the time Slightly Social was released, there was no metal telly in black that I was aware of. So I thought, one day I'll build one. I remembered a Jackson JTX that I had when I was younger.
Look at this editing. This is awesome. It's got voiceover. He's got a cameraman following him on the beach. He's got edited in zooming clips that are rotating from the Jackson catalog. This is awesome.
I thought the guitar looked cool, but it didn't play great, and it sounded even worse. I bought a Jackson JTX body off eBay during the pandemic. That came with a JB in the bridge. I bought a Jackson reverse headstock neck.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I look through guitar catalogs and you find these tons of guitars in there that you just don't see in the wild. Like, what happened to all these thousands of this model Jackson here? I don't know this model. It's very Telly-like, very awesome, but it's just weird. And finally, we find one of these weird guitars out in the wild, so that's so cool to see one that somebody's actually using.
And slapped it on, only to find the JTX neck pocket was cut really bad. The stars aligned one day, and one of my best friends, Ross, started building guitars and calls his company Sing Tall Guitars. I'm 6'6" and thought it was pretty fitting. I went to visit family recently, and when I went by his shop, he offered to make me whatever guitar I wanted with locally sourced wood for a price I couldn't pass up. Ross has always been into rock and metal type guitars, and he primarily builds his guitars with speed in mind. He really knows how to dial a guitar in, and all of his builds that I've played practically play themselves. I wanted my own metal Telecaster shape that was more comfortable than a traditional Telly, so this is what we came up with. So this is a JTX/Telly inspired Northern Poplar body.
Okay, perhaps I spoke too soon. This is not an actual Jackson, one of those weird Jacksons. This is a full-on custom inspired by that Jackson.
It has a Goto 1996 T bridge. It has Goto open gear locking tuners.
Look at that grain. What is this? This is crazy looking. I've never seen a back of a neck like that.
24 stainless steel frets with a 0 fret. Lace wood neck with Wingate fretboard. A Fishman Fluence Keith Merrow in the bridge, and a Fluence BA1 in the neck. This guitar sounds massive, and the frets are slick as Alice Knot, man.
What I really like about the guitar is look at the weird curvature of the face of it. You can see the way that the sun is, the reflection off the front of the guitar. It's got like a curve. The whole thing is kind of contoured. That is very cool looking. The color complements that really well. Look at all those switches and things going on down there. I know Fishman pickups, you can have multiple voicings, so he's maybe has one of those toggles hooked up to the voicing. It looks like he's got the selector switch, maybe a volume and a tone, and maybe a preamp in there. What else?
You've been listening to the guitar in the background of this video. Anyway, I love this thing, and I love your channel, Mark, and your builds. Your guitars look so pro, and your paint jobs have gotten so freaking good. Anyway, this is Heavy in Hawaii, and thanks again, Mark.
Dude, that's a sick guitar, man. Thanks for sending that video in. I love the editing on it. I love the shots, the angles, the creativity, the voiceover, all that B-roll and extra footage and everything mixed in. That's like pro level right there. So if you guys want to go all out like that, that's awesome. I would love to share some more clips like that. Okay, cool. This is Brian.
Hey, out there in Guitar Land. This is Brian from Brian Pan Raglands Guitars. Hey, Mark and everybody out there in Guitar Guts. I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that I've been up to lately. A long time ago, I started modding guitars, guitar kits, guitars just like Mark. My stuff is nowhere near as great as his, but then I started making them from scratch in my own homemade guitars. So here are just a few. Here's my guitar room. Let's see if I can get some of these in the camera. These guitars I had made from China, but I do have a lot of guitars. Like, let me see. Let me show you some of the recent inventions.
Jeez, look at this. Hold on, let's back this up a second. Look behind Brian. What is this arsenal of Flying V's and Explorers? Brian, you got to do a video and show us your entire collection at some point.
It's in the camera.
Oh my gosh. So look at all these Explorers. We got like this that black one with the gold hardware and the white binding, single humbucker back there. We have that another black HH behind it. Then we got a diamond plate. We got a shattered glass single humbucker. Oh my god, dude, you got the Eat F. Don't want to get demonetized over here. Man, you got a crazy collection, man. You gotta send some more videos.
These guitars I had made.
Whoa. What was that acoustic one? I did not,
These guitars I had.
Look at that guitar right there. Is that a classical acoustic Explorer thin body? What the heck is that?
Made from China, but I do have a lot of guitars. Like, let me see. Let me show you some of my recent inventions. Yeah, fire guitar. I'm not sure if it's picking it up.
Oh, wow, cool.
Neck, fire guitar, the double neck Prince Cloud guitar. I made these relics of Billy Joe Armstrong, his Silver Sparkle, the Billy Joe Blue. Hello Kitty with Attitude. These are the mod guitars that I was telling you about. These are actually kits you get on Amazon. And I did my own kind of mod to them.
Where do you live, man? We need to team up.
And I do like a lot of rhinestone work and everything like that. These are just some of the guitars that I've made from scratch. These are one of the few, the beginning when I first started to make guitars. I made this map guitar. And there's a bunch on the wall there too. Let me go around. This is just my main, this is actually my bedroom, so I got my little dogs and everything here. So these are the guitars that I first started with when I first started modding guitars from kits and everything like that. And I did this Paul Stanley up with the rhinestones.
For a second, I didn't realize that was a mirror. I thought you were looking into another room where he has another 35, 40 custom crazy guitars.
2 Paul Stanley mirrors, and I actually messed up the the mirror material on this guitar, so I started doing the rhinestones, and I think it turned out good. I've had a lot of custom-made guitars made for me, with my, my name and everything like that on there. I've been doing this for a while. I mean, I love guitars. I'm a total guitar holic. Here's just some of my
We couldn't tell.
collection right now. I've got a bunch more in cases and everything like that, but I just wanted to show
A
you
bunch
what
more
I
in
got
cases?
this room.
My man, what I see over there in the corner? Did I see video game controllers?
This for a while. I mean, I love guitars. I'm a total guitar holic. Here's just some of my collection right now. I've got a bunch more in cases and everything like that, but I just wanted to show you a little.
Right there, we got a couple controllers, but he's got Super Nintendo wireless controller, maybe an Xbox One back there. I don't know.
My music room.
Very cool.
Real quick, and
Jeez, dude.
here's Mr. Scary, of course. Ace Frehley.
Got the Kirk Hammett.
Kirk Hammett, some of these that I modded up, and I love the Gibson guitars, and I've done it with Gibson auto tunes and everything like that. Matthias Jabs from the Scorpions. I love Ghost. Ghost is one of my favorite bands. As you can see, I have a little bit of Ghost montage going on here. Let me show you the other room where there's a lot of the creations guitars that I've actually made from scratch. Let me come in here. Sorry about the camera angle.
Dude, this is cool. I love the tours too. People walk around from room to room. Wow, dude, look at that. Funny story, I was talking to Brian a little while back and we were talking about collabing on a build, and I mentioned something about a Star guitar, and he's like, oh, no problem, I can make a Star guitar, and he sent me pictures of that one. And I was like, no, I meant like a Edward Star or a Charvel Star, like a Explorer Flying V type, not like an actual Star.
I decided to do a guitar like
The Pick of Destiny.
Destiny, but the Guitar of Destiny, and it's made with glow-in-the-dark paint, so it's really kind of cool. The Axe guitar from, it's inspired by
Gene Simmons.
Master Gene Simmons, but I made it in guitar form.
Yeah.
Did the guitar from the Waterloo video, the ABBA guitar. This guitar shape I love. I seen this shape online, and I made a guitar. I mostly have that to E flat.
Dude, I am loving this.
I did a Slipknot 7 guitar, which is really kind of cool, and I put my own little kind of thing on there. I did the Ibanez logo. Made this guitar from scratch. All these guitars on the wall I made from scratch, and it's pretty cool. It's a double neck, and that's a gladiator shape, I guess they call it.
Brian, do you make these necks all from scratch too? Like, do you have jigs and tooling set up? Because I'd love to see your workshop next.
This is a guitar that was actually, when I received it, it was broken in pieces, and I took some glue and I figured I want to try to save this, and I restored it, and I did the rhinestone treatment on there. got a bunch of guitars that I've made and a bunch that I'm working on.
I like that green.
I'm always working on guitars.
That's the star.
You can see right now I'm working on a Ghostbuster themed guitar, which is going to be really cool.
What's that green thing back there?
Yeah, I'm going to switch the camera angle.
Oh, wow. Cool. Very cool.
So I don't really know what I'm filming. So, and then you can see right here the headstock.
Oh, yeah. Wow, what a crazy headstock. That is a trip. I've never seen tuners spread out all wide across a whole headstock like that. Yeah, that green one right here, that Strat in the back, very sick too.
Oh man, and made a Playboy guitar. This is a cool guitar that I'm working on right now too. I make most of my guitars I make from actually plywood bodies, but they turn out really good, as you can see.
Guys, everybody watching, I want to know, what's your opinion on plywood bodies? Because I've talked to Brian about collabing, like I was just saying, building a Star guitar together, and he was going to use plywood for it. I just don't know. I don't have experience with the plywood guitars. From what I know, that's like, a lot of the cheaper guitars, Epiphones and Squires, the lowest models possible are plywood. So what's the deal? What kind of tones can you get out of this? I said tones so weird just now, but I noticed there's EMGs in a lot of these, so I'm thinking if you throw EMGs in any guitar, it's going to sound pretty good. Pretty good, at least, I used to have a Squire that I played back when I was in a band and when I was in high school, and I threw a single 81 in it. It was a cheap $100 Squire Bullet plywood, and it sounded pretty awesome with the EMG through a Marshall. So I'm curious, man. I want to try a plywood guitar. A nicer plywood guitar, not just any plywood, I want a cool Brian Ragland plywood.
Yeah, that one's going to be a really cool one. That's going to be my first Floyd Rose double locking Tremel system, which I've made many guitars. I've got a Michael Badio Rocket right there.
That is sick, dude.
If you see my Facebook page and everything like that, you'll see some of the guitars that I've done.
Prince.
The Prince
What?
guitar.
That's a delicate instrument right there. It's all these blankets around it, because if that thing falls, that bottom horn it's going bye-bye.
I did the Doctor guitar with my own flare on it.
What the heck is that?
But I wanted to make it my own. I did a Cheech from Cheech and Chong.
I'm censoring that. You're not allowed to show that on YouTube. I'm just kidding.
3D. The Big Mouth guitar, the Vampire guitar. I did a Mick Mars Mirror guitar. An Explorer, the new Snakebite, but I call this the Serpent Sting guitar because it's a copy. It's a homage to James Hetfield's Snakebite guitars
With a maple neck.
and some Jackson inspired guitars, and of course Eddie Van Halen is a big inspiration to me. This right here is the Paul Stanley. What was that guitar called? I forgot what I based it off, but you see it in a lot of his videos. And here's some cool guitars too.
It's an EVH.
This is Eddie Van Halen's the Hydra guitar, and it's pretty cool. I did my own version of it.
I have no idea when Eddie actually used that, but there's photo sessions of him, all over the internet with all his guitars surrounding him, and there's that yellow guitar shows up, but I've never actually seen him use it. I don't know why he made it or why he had it. What songs did he use it for? If you guys know, fill me in the comments.
And then I've done guitars like this shape right here. And this is actually inspired by you, Mark, over at Guitar Guts.
I was going to say, that looks familiar. That looks very similar to the same green alien blood that I put on quite a few guitars now.
And this is my Alien's Blood type guitar. And it's really cool. You've inspired me with the Alien Blood splatter paint, and I tried it and it turned out really cool. And then I decided to do a Psycho splatter type paint. So these guitars were based on watching Guitar Guts. Inspired by it. This is the first acoustic guitar that I've ever made.
What?
Trying to get the camera.
Stealth splatter?
And this turned out really cool. And you can see it was a complete, that guitar right there was a complete, just go for it, see if I can do it, make an acoustic out of plywood.
When I first started playing guitar, I was collecting pieces of plywood in my bedroom behind my door that I was going to make a Flying V acoustic. And one of my friends eventually told me, dude, acoustics need to be this thick. You know how big that guitar is going to be? And I thought, yeah, I guess I can't do it.
And that's what I came up with.
But that's close.
Yeah, I'll have to show, I wish I could show some of these guitars in more in depth, but I'm trying to make this video short. But yeah, I love making guitars. I've been doing it for a while, and I hopefully plan on continually doing it. And yeah, just wanted to say hi to Mark and everybody over there at Guitar Guts and everything like that. You guys do awesome work. Your kill switches are just, oh man, they're top notch. But all right, Trash to Thrash, Mark Murray, you're the man. And I hope everybody likes this video. Hope it's not too long. Hopefully he can edit it down to something usable if he wants to use it. But all right, and I hope everybody has a good day. I went and seen Striper last night, so I'm wore out. It was standing for like 4 hours. It was a great show. Striper in Destin, Florida. Whew, that was a good show. Striper puts on a good show from the 80s. But yeah, all right, just a love of guitars. All right, and here's all my. Here, like Mark, I have a lot of stuff, all my paints and everything like that, and everything that I got on the ground.
My man needs some shelves.
And I just bought this off Facebook. This is pretty cool. I'll have to show you that. But if you check out my Facebook page, Brian Pan's Guitars on Facebook, or the Brian Raglan channel on YouTube, and there's a lot of cool stuff on there. Yeah, I look wrecked. I'm sorry. I'm super tired. I just got up and was watching Sunday, with Mark Murray on his Sunday guitar show, and it's just, awesome. So, all right, hope everybody's having a good night, and we'll see you later.
Dude, Brian, that was awesome. We're going to need more videos from you because that was super fun. Like you said, I'd like to see a couple of them, maybe grab a couple and show us a little more in depth on a few of them. I would love to see what else you said you have in cases. I would love to see your work area. Is this your work area? I can't imagine you're painting guitars in that room right there, but if so, God help you. Hopefully you got a mask. Hopefully your roommates or your family or whoever you live with has a mask too. Awesome, man. I love that. That was really cool.
Guitar Boy Marcus. This is a Dean VMNT. It's the bolt-on model, the lowest end model VMNT. Originally black. A few upgrades. I did some airbrushing. Put 8185 EMGs in it. Then I also did a recessed neck plate in the back, so I routed out where the neck plate used to be and just sunk it down in there. Filled in through here. I did use regular wood filler, and it's sinking quite a bit. The guitar, it was my go-to guitar at the time. So after I cleared it, I let it sit for a little while, and then I just slapped it together. I never sanded or buffed and polished after that. So I do have a few things I want to do. I might touch up some of the airbrushing.
I could see the texture on top of the guitar, and I would say if you do plan on level sanding it and doing all that stuff and polishing it out, I would sand it with 600, level it out a little bit, and then shoot some more clear, because all the different depths of color and all this is just a really cool paint job. The space, it would be a shame if you were to sand through and mess that paint job up. But dang, dude, you got some pretty good airbrushing skills. The space, you went right over the bridge, I see. Interesting paint job, dude.
Finish up that neck with some Bondo. Re-clear it, sand it up to 2K, do the whole brush and polisher upper. I'm gonna remove and fill the inlays.
Whoa!
And then I also have to refret the guitar. It's got a couple dings in the top fretting frets of those frets. I kind of fret about that kind of stuff because it really frets with the way it frets. Fretting A. Mark?
Man, that was a fun video. Sick guitar, dude. Nice job. I like it. Once you get that thing, I mean, it looks good, I'm sure, from across the room already, but when you get close, you can see the texture. When you get that thing sanded up and finished, it's going to be pretty slick, I would say. The one thing I would say, you recess the back plate of the neck? That's crazy, dude. What if something happens to the neck? That's half of the benefit of having a bolt-on neck, is that you can take the neck off and throw a different neck on it. But hey, really cool. Good job, man.
Hey guys, I'm Murph, and I'm going to show you my Epiphone Gothic Explorer. I got it in 2003, and it was a matte black. And recently I got kind of bored of the finish, but I'm not really good with stripping paint and refinishing and stuff like that. So I was doing some random Googling to see if I could come across any easy ways. And I found an old board post that said toothpaste works. And so I didn't really think anything of it. And then one night I just said, screw it, I'm gonna try a little test piece on the back. And so
what we're doing here is the guitar came in like a flat finish. He wanted to make it shiny, and he's using toothpaste to buff it out. I actually got another question later in the show that's somewhat related to this, but it's actually the opposite way around. Someone who wants to go matte, who has gloss. So let's continue with this, though, because I told this guy that if he sends me the video, I want to see the process of it and see how it worked for him.
So the Epiphone Goth line came in a matte black, and now with toothpaste and some elbow grease, I turned this gloss. So all you need is some toothpaste. I won't mention the brand, but just toothpaste and a smooth cotton t-shirt, because you're going to be placing friction, obviously rubbing on it, so you don't want to scratch up your finish. So just have a t-shirt and some toothpaste and maybe another second rag to kind of like dry and buff it off. But you just take a little test piece on the back and just rub it around, kind of like waxing a car. And I don't know how it works. Mark will probably explain.
Let's explain. So the reason this works is because the same way compound and toothpaste are very similar. That's why they clean your teeth that way. What is in the compound that makes your guitar shine up is actually grit, like sandpaper. Basically, it's just super, super, super fine sandpaper. And at some point, you go so fine with polishes that your eye doesn't see any scratches anymore. When you're buffing a guitar out or polishing and sanding a guitar, you start with a real coarse sandpaper to scuff it up, but to get it flat. And then you move through different grits of sandpaper to remove the scratches left by the previous sandpaper, replacing them with new scratches that are less deep, more shallow scratches that are easier to remove with the next sandpaper. Like I said, eventually you move up to a polish, which is this ultra fine sandpaper in a liquid or in a bar form. And that's what toothpaste basically is. It's basically a compound that has tiny, tiny grits of things in it that when you're rubbing it in a circle, it'll shine things up. So really interesting. You could use polishing compound, but the internet has told him to use toothpaste and many others, I'm sure, and it will work.
Why it works, but it works. So it's just going to be elbow grease, do it over and over again.
And it's going to make your guitar smell good and prevent cavities.
And you'll see in the little clip coming up, like there's some spaces in between I haven't got to yet, so the next string change, but like in between the bridge and the pickups, and even I haven't touched the front of the headstock yet, so the tuners will come off. And it's a working project for summer. So yeah, I'm going to show you a bit closer shot of what's been done. So you can see, as I mentioned, you can see my reflection there.
It looks really good. You could see there isn't, it's not like a complete mirror finish. You can see as he moves, there is like a little bit of, not texture, but something in there. It could be polished out even further probably.
But if you look in here, no reflection. So obviously I'll take the bridge off and probably the pick guard after. And down here, obviously the headstock hasn't been done yet.
For how old this guitar is, it is in amazing condition.
But you can see it is indeed gloss.
Yeah. Oh, not anymore.
Back.
Dang.
Nice and gloss.
Dang, look at that. That's pretty reflective.
So yeah, toothpaste.
By the way, that's a lovely kitchen.
And that's it. Toothpaste. Just get some toothpaste, a t-shirt, do a little space, and just rub it. After a while, you'll get a feel for it and what to do. Don't use too much, but after a while, you'll know what to do. And just put your regular guitar polish in the luthier cloth, and yeah, it works. So Mark's going to explain to you why it works, and good luck with it.
That's awesome.
So this is the guitar.
Okay, so this next one is from Joseph. Joseph's guitar was sent in to me a while ago. It's been back in his hands for quite a while now. And it was a guitar that he sent in to me to have me refinish, but I didn't actually build it up for him, so it never ended up on a Trash to Thrash. But I do have all the footage of it, and at some point, if I'm desperate to put something out and I don't have anything, you might see this on an episode with some finished shots sent in from him, because he put the neck on, he wired it, he assembled it, he did all that stuff. So very cool. It's awesome to see the finished project. Let's see this thing.
I bought just a generic Walmart neck. That was the closest I could find.
Generic Walmart neck? I did not know Walmart sold guitar necks. It's maple. Looks right.
It's a lot glossier than the actual EVH guitar Frankenstrat.
It's got that yellowy look to it, too, where ends are like white, kind of.
So I got an official Floyd Rose in that. I got a official EVH pickup. And I got a 1971 quarter installed. I really love this guitar. It sounds a lot like Eddie mostly because I got the humbucker set in it.
Very awesome, Joseph. Dude, guitar looks amazing. That paint job looks good, too. Gotta give it to myself. When I saw the reflection coming off it, that was one of the first red, white, and black 3-color super high gloss ones I did, where I got it smooth and reflective, and yeah, seeing it in this video. I haven't done one of these for a little while, so I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Let's see. Oh, this one's from Philip. Okay, so I'm going to do some commentary because I don't think there's any music or anything here. So we could see he's making his own neck, which is something I cannot wait to do on my own. Look at this. It's coming together. That thing is looking pretty slick. Look at that characteristic in that wood. Really smoothing out, getting it nice and nice. It looks like that might be the routing spot. He's going to throw the truss rod down in there. Oh, we got some splitting, actually, where the tuners went in. And we also have 2 backwards tuners. PVD, that's his logo there. Dang, dude. You did the inlays too, or is that paint? Looks like you got maybe a gloss on it. Yeah, I think that's paint. I think those are painted on. Alright, now time to start making the body. So here he glued together, can't tell what kind of wood that was, but it almost looks like 2x4s. Got them all glued. He's going to have to do something to fill those gaps in between the boards, I'm guessing. We're going to see that. Or is it going to be like a natural looking base? I already forgot what I think it showed it already and I don't even remember. Oh yeah, look at that. It's starting to sand. Got that burned look. Kind of like that aged barn look. Dang, it's looking good. Got some clear, brush on clear there. Hanging to dry, out in the backyard. Okay, what are we looking at there? There's like is there a wrap on it? It looks like that's a wrap. Ah, okay. Things starting to come together. Look at it. The back is more raw looking, which I think is pretty cool if you do the wrap on the front. Time to assemble. Got that pickup. Oh, got black hardware. Wow, what a weird texture. That's really cool. Classy. Yeah, that's sick. That guitar from back here, when I was looking at the thumbnail of this video, because I don't preview these videos beforehand, I thought that it was like a marbled paint job or something like that. But that's very cool. So, man, awesome guitars, guys. Very unique collection of videos from all over the place. So, guys, send your videos in. I want to see more guitars from you guys. That was really cool. Now we got some questions for you. So, as you can see from the image, the first one is the funniest comment that I saw left on the channels. This is Guitar Guts 1 and 2 this week. This is the comment that stood out and made me laugh. This is regarding the Wolfgang USA that was on Trash to Thrash this week. Buy a $5,000+ new guitar. Send it out to get rebuilt without seeing it first, guitarists. Very funny. That is funny. Okay, so this next one is just a little bit, I want to say thanks, guys, for the nice comments, because on the last week's Sunday Morning Shred, right off the bat, we had, I started loving Sundays because of this series, love Sunday mornings, so glad Sunday Morning Shred is back on. I really like the format, gets my Sunday morning off to a good start. Keep up the great work. You really need to get a couple of Schecter guitars on the show and mod them. They're a great company and very lefty friendly. I should know, I just got a Nick Johnson signature HSS guitar, and it's the best electric I've ever owned in my life. Rock on, Mark. Very cool. I do have a Schecter here in-house right now, but it's something somebody traded in, and I'm probably just going to flip it because it's in like excellent condition. So if anyone's looking for a Schecter Sun 3, you're going to see I'm going to have another guitar flipping or guitar selling, whatever, video coming up in the next month, because I got a couple more that are just beautiful guitars, and I don't feel like sanding them and changing them. They're like brand new almost. So plus I've got a ton of guitars to work on. I'm not going to be able to touch them for a year anyways. And then Brian, there's Brian again. I love the show. I look forward to it every Sunday. Sweet. Thumbs way up. So right on. Sweet Sunday, dude. This next one, or next couple, are in response to the video I put up last week over on Sunday morning, or on Guitar Guts 2, this same channel. Brett said, I love the StewMac buffing pads. I use them and they work very well. I also use the Z-File. I bought the Safe Edge Z-File, and I have to say it works, but honestly it has some problems. It will actually scratch up the frets sometimes, and for me it's not really worth it. Maybe I should try the centered one. They do make a couple. He said that he has the offset one. There's one that's just perfectly symmetrical, and then there's one that looks more like that. So I have the one that's symmetrical. I just used it on a guitar yesterday. I was getting some frets leveled. I already had leveled the frets, but there was a couple spots where I needed to go back in and fix things up. So I used my Spot filer, that new little rocker that I got in that video, and I used my Z-File, and I gotta say both of them crushed it. One of the best playing guitars that I've ever put together. He said, StewMac has good tools, but they're very overpriced. A lot of people were saying that. I like Luthier's Mercantile and Philadelphia Luthier Tool and Supply. I'm going to have to check those guys out. If you guys have used their tools, let me know in the comments what tools you have by them. Give me a short review. Tell me if you think they're good or not. Great prices, and their tools are quality as well. Good work. Keep the videos rocking, man. I appreciate that, Brett. Next one says, because the video said I spent $1,100 at StewMac. He said, probably one set of StewMac strings. Pretty funny. Robbie said, looks like you're doing great on the buffer, because I was asking people. I got the new buffer. You can probably actually see it. It's right here behind me. And people were saying, I was asking people, if you guys have any experience with a buffer like this, I need some tips, because there's no instructions. There's not many great videos out there, so at some point, I'm going to make one. Robbie's used one before, it sounds like. He said, looks like you're doing great on the buffer, keeping it above the horizon so it don't catch. Because if you are buffing and you hit the top edge, it can rip the guitar right out of your hands and throw it on the ground. So they say you only want to do about 50% and down of the guitar, then flip it over and then do the other half and down. Don't go all the way up to the top edges. And then also you can go flip it, a quarter rotation and go up and down that way too. But you don't want to be having the buffer come down on top of an edge. Staying away from the edges, only a quickie with a feather touch. So he's saying just hardly push it in there. I noticed that some people, when they're buffing, they'll push it in so you could see the wheels kind of deforming. But the compound is only on the edge of the wheel. It doesn't go deep into the wheel. So you really don't want to get that wheel deformed, because then you're not using compound. He said, quickie with a feather touch, not leaning in at all, and plenty of compound. I mostly did headstocks after dressing, and poly does give you some leeway. Did some bodies after hours. Guys, please use some punctuation. This is all one long sentence. I'm going to read it all as one long sentence after this. Poly does give you some leeway. Did some bodies after hours. Had to be so careful and keep up the concentration. It can get away from you in a second. If it does grab, let her go. Don't pull it in. Or don't let it pull you in, and don't get hurt. Ain't worth That cavities can grab too. Be careful. Keep on rocking. Okay, so cavities can grab too. It's great to see some quality work. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Now let's read it all as one sentence. Looks like you're doing great on the buffer, keeping it above the horizon so it don't catch, staying away from the edges, only a quickie with the feather touch, not leaning in at all, and plenty of compound. I mostly did headstocks and dressing, and poly does give you some leeway. Did some bodies after hours, had to be so careful and keep up the concentration because it can get away from you in a second. And I was trying to do it in one breath. It can get away from you in a second. If it does grab, let it go. Okay, that was good enough, whatever. Okay, so the next one is going to be in reference to the most recent Trash to Thrash. Actually, it was the one before the most recent one. The 2 EVH Wolfgangs I did. I wonder how a 5150 stripe design would look on a Wolfgang. Filling the routes for switch, neck pickup, and tone pot. The 5150 design, I've never seen anyone do that on a Wolfgang. That's actually really interesting. And the 5150 has almost more of an orange touch to it. It's not like a bright red like the Frankenstrat. So that's really cool. I like when you guys bring up these interesting things that haven't been done. Mark, thanks for using my post. That guitar was built by Chip Ellis at EVH, and he made Ed 2 of them. So Kurt is actually the photo, if you're watching the last Trash to Thrash with the 2 Wolfgangs. It showed, I was showing the 20, actually you could probably see them, they're behind me. The 2013 Japan Tour Wolfgang, the black and white striped one that Eddie played. I had showed an Instagram post of some place where this thing was on display somewhere, and I had used Kirk's post here. I call him Kurt's post here. So he said this one is on display currently at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. This guitar was only used on the Japan leg of the DKOT tour. What's DKOT? The one they did the live at Tokyo Dome album. Okay, cool. So awesome. Thanks for the information, Kurt. I don't know if Kurt took that photo, though, because I saw somebody else saying they took that photo. So I don't know for sure, but I appreciate it being there. I saw it on Kurt's page. Next one says, a splatter paint job in the classic EVH Frankenstrat would look cool. So a splatter paint job in the classic EVH. So would you do like a red guitar with white and black splatter? That would actually be sick. Or maybe like a white guitar with black and red splatter. That'd be interesting. Or like maybe 2 colored stripes and then splatter on top of that. I have done a striped with splatter over it. It was a gunmetal gray with black stripes, I think it was. Similar to a Stealth. And then I threw like a metallic black splatter on it. It looked really cool. Very, very cool idea. And then, of course, imagine doing an EVH Crackle. Could look cool and really challenging and be really challenging to pull off. Yeah, that's the tricky thing, because they don't make red Crackle. So you'd have to get a little creative, do something different there. But trust me, I have a sample somewhere around here. I've already done it, and it looks really cool. And if you see that Crackle guitar hanging back there, that's what that is. If you notice the body routes, that's a Frankenstrat body route. And it's already got the black and white Crackle on it. So very... You're thinking like I am. Okay, then we got a bunch... Oh, you know what, though? I just thought of something. Go back. So the splatter paint job in the classic EVH Frankenstrat colors would look cool. You know what would look also really cool? Bumblebee splatter. Black guitar, yellow splatter. I was looking around the shop. I got a Bumblebee hanging over there. And I thought of that, and I was like, oh, dude, that would be sick. So let's move on to the randos. These are the random questions. We get a lot that just don't fall into like a grouped category, and then I throw them all in the randos section. So Austin asked, hey, would you like viewers' music to use for Trash to Thrash? Just use a snippet or two over like videos of you doing work. Could be something neat. I would like to include more music on Trash to Thrash, but here's the thing. I want to keep it so that I own all the content. I don't want it to be music that someone else owns or have any rights issues down the road. These are videos that I want to be like I don't know, forever usable, evergreen videos that in 5 years, if there's a new platform, I can throw them on there and not worry about somebody owning part of the music. So what I would like to do, though, is I want to feature your guys' bands here on the show. So if you guys are in a band and you want to get a little more exposure, I want to do some type of little mini, not a battle of the bands, kind of a battle of the bands, but I want to do something where I play a bunch of different bands from viewers like you and let people vote. What's their favorite one? maybe, I don't know, we'll give like the winner a guitar. I don't really know exactly how we're going to do it yet, but I would like to do some type of competition. So if you're in a band, send me an email, mark@guitarguts.com. If you have an EPK, an electronic press kit, I really suggest getting one or making one with Adobe Spark. You can put your bio, all your photos in there, links to your music, and then you can just send an EPK out to all these companies, brands that you want to work with, shows like this, and it makes it a lot easier for people to promote your stuff. If you don't have that, I suggest making it. But if you don't want to make one, I guess you can just send me an email, mark@guitarguts.com. Put some links in there. Let me know where I can find your music. Put a bio about your band, because I'd like to know. I'd like to have something to talk about. And also some photos. I'd like to show some photos too. So, or if you got some good quality live video, that'd be really cool to throw some links of that in there too. The next one asks, what happened to the LTD Explorer? It's chilling. It's right there, actually. I've just been slammed, a couple episodes recently of Trash to Thrash. Took longer than expected. Got a ton of guitars going. And a couple of the episodes had 2 guitars in them. So the EVH one, next week, or the last one, the LTD guitars also. And then in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be another double episode. So the LTD Explorer, it's chilling here. I've just been busy. And also, the episodes have been packed with other content. So it will be back, though. Don't worry. Zombie said, I was at my dad's house today. We got talking about my guitars and the stuff I've done to them, and I had to show him one of your videos. He's now subscribed. He likes to watch people make things, and he likes to modify firearms, so don't piss him off. So he gets why we have an interest in modding and customizing. The first video I showed him was the Jackson King V with the red and black mall paint job. The Kerry King one. I don't know, I just chose that one. But he did tell me he owns a Cricut machine like yours, so that's cool. Guys, I love that. If you have dads, if you got friends, you got kids, if you got anyone who likes to watch car restorations or they like to work on things and fix things up, show them Trash to Thrash. I would love for this show to blow up more and get 100,000 views per episode. I hear all the time, this channel should be way bigger. I'm doing what I can to push this thing, but the community, I need the community's help here. So if you guys can share this, Trash to Thrash is the thing that's going to appeal to the most people. This is for the hardcores like us. Me and you, the real guitar nerds, as I like to say. But Trash to Thrash can be for anybody. So if you guys could take screenshots while you're watching that show, or save my thumbnails and post them on your Instagram stories, your Facebook, show your friends, show your car nerd friends, all those kinds of people who like restorations. I think they would like Trash to Thrash too. So I appreciate that, Zombie. Keep spreading that word, man. That's awesome. Brandon, what's the white Explorer with the red blood splatter on it? So over here I got that guitar. I'll grab it in a second. I'll show you guys. It looks like an old LTD maybe, but it looks like it's got a Fender style trem on it. Sanding on that brand new USA Wolfgang with binding gives me anxiety just watching through YouTube. I know what you mean. The first time I sanded a beautiful brand new Wolfgang, it was a blue one. It's on the old intro to Trash to Thrash. You'll see it. It's a guitar they only made for like 1 year, that blue Wolfgang, but it's the one I had, at the time, got for a good deal. It's the only one I had, the best priced one I could find to work on. But the first time I also sanded like a quilt maple top guitar, it hurts a little. The funny thing about the binding that everyone always brings up is I can't believe you paint over a binding, but really, there's already a clear coat over the binding. When you're in a factory, they shoot clear over the whole thing, and the binding's already painted. So that's why you're allowed to paint over it. Paint sticks to it really good. I know what you mean, though. Painting over the binding, that's like how you can tell that it's an expensive Wolfgang. That's one of the ways. So let me show you the white Explorer. Hold on, let me grab it. While I'm grabbing it, I will tell you guys, this is a guitar that I actually got and I bought this, I don't know, I got it when I was like 13 or 14 years old. And I got it from a guitar shop I used to work at when I was a young kid. The first guitar shop I ever went to that was local is right down the street from where I live now even. It's called World Music. And that's where I got my first job, got my first guitar. I was in middle school. I was in there so much playing guitars and looking at guitars and looking at everything in the store and studying everything that one day the manager joked and said, dude, you're here so much, you should work here. And I said, I would love to work here. And he's like, we just started talking back and forth, and he said, would you want to come in and do like vacuuming, clean the bathroom, polish up guitars, make sure there's no fingerprints on them, replace strings when they break, answer phones sometimes, talk to customers, because I knew all the product lines, I had all the catalogs. I would go in there and leave with a library book stack full of guitar catalogs for the year and guitar magazines, and they had me smashing boxes in the back and bringing them out to the dumpster. All these really low-end tasks, but it was my dream, man. I was like 12 or 13 in 8th grade. I'd go to school. I bought my own cell phone after that. They paid me mostly in store credit, so I would just buy gear at cost. I get a look through, find the cost of everything. But this is the guitar. So it's a Takamine. I forget the exact model, but I think it's an Aria Pro 2. Also makes a very, very similar guitar. And it's something that one day I plan to restore. I saw this since I started playing guitar at a very young age of like 7 or 8 or not. No, I was probably 9 or 10. I would see this guitar in the back of the shop. If you looked through that guitar shop that I used to work at and loved so much, they had the tech area in the back, and I would look through the tech area, and this was hanging on the wall in the back. I always wanted it. Years later, like 4 or 5 years later, once I started working there at 13 years old, they sold it to me for like $100. It's a total piece of junk, but at this level of knowing how to modify and work on guitars, I know I can sand this down. I know I can remove the frets, re-radius the fretboard. I can make this thing into a beast now. So I'm going to eventually make it into something really, really cool. So one day you guys will see that. Here we have a question from Fedor, or Fyodor. Fedor is an old MMA fighter with the same name, but for some reason people called him Fedor, but it's really Fyodor. So he said he was wanting to know how to turn a guitar, the opposite of the guy earlier. How do we turn a gloss guitar matte? So I haven't really had to do this ever, and I can't really give instructions on how to do it. But if anyone out there has some tips or some videos that they can link, let us know down in the comments below. And that's going to do it for us this week, guys. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to be featured on the show, send me videos of your modified guitars and talk us through it. Send me send me an email about your band if you want to have your band featured on the show. Be sure to be hitting that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave your comments down below. The comments help a ton with YouTube. It's the way that their algorithm works. So I appreciate you guys watching so much. I hope you guys have a great week. Rock on, my friends. If you guys enjoyed this episode, go back and watch some of the old Sunday morning shreds too. They're pretty much evergreen content, me just talking about guitars and showing you cool videos. So here's a couple links to a few episodes. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.